Hey there! On today's video, it's all about my Vicla. Gonna catch you up on the upgrades and little changes I've made over the past year. Some engine work and a few cosmetic touches, and even a couple of rides I've taken her on. But I gotta keep it real with you. There's also some not so good news about the old girl. So let's roll right into it. Hey there, welcome to the channel. This is Bronx Brothers Motorcycles and my name is Richie. Well, like I said, on today's video, we're going to talk about my Vicla. Where I've been this year, what I've done to it, and worst part of it, what happened. So, I still own the bike, and we'll get to that. So let's get into it. Well, but for those of you who don't know my Vicla, let me introduce you to her. This is my bike, called La Vicla. Anyhow, this bike I built myself, tore it down to the frame. The only thing left was the engine and transmission. Everything else was pulled off and redone. The paint I had done, it's a Ford red, 21-inch gold spokes chrome rim. I have the V-bar for the signal lights and auxiliary lights. Everything has the visors on it. I have chrome fork legs, chrome Harley Davidson axle caps. Chrome controls, 16-inch LA choppers, ape hangers. Floorboards and shift levers are Harley Davidson Deluxe. The exhaust, 42-inch Samson Fishtails. Picard rear fender. Stock tombstone tail light. The signal lights and the V-bar that holds the signal lights are custom. Chrome covers for the swing arm, Bronx Brothers plaque, Mustang seat, solo seat, chrome dash cover extension. I have the Arlen Ness oil pressure gauge, Kuryakyn velocity stack air filter, vintage Harley Davidson tank badge, I'm a friend of Bill. What else can I tell you about the bike? It has so much. Dirtbag cycles, mirrors, yeah, just a bunch of stuff. Now, I actually have a video where I break down every single piece that I put on this bike. So I will put that in the description. But this is my 2005 Harley Davidson Softail Deluxe. Well, I'm not sure if you know where this is, but this past March for Daytona Beach Bike Week, just like most years, we went to Key West. And that's what you're looking at right here. It's been a few years since I took the old girl down to Florida for Bike Week. So this year, I built my nephew a Vicla, which I'll show you here. And because he had his, I figure I'd take mine out as well, so the sisters could roll together. We had a great time. Bike performed flawlessly. Florida is great during winter. The first week in March, it's still cold up north and in many parts of the country, and I just love going to Florida that time of year. While everybody else is still waiting for the cold to go away, I'm in Florida riding. So that's why I love Florida. Well, maybe you've noticed, and I'll tell you about the one cosmetic item I added: the bags. These saddlebags I bought back when I built this bike in 2019. It was all part of the big plan. Anyhow, I bought these on eBay. They are the extended. I dry fitted them, and when I had the bike painted, I sent the bags along with it. Now, I've never used the bags in all the time that I've had the bike, but knowing that this trip was going to be a week long, I bolted them up this year, and everybody liked the way they looked. Now, I'll tell you, I like the way it looks as well, and more than anything, super convenient. As you're looking at those bags, both of them are filled with week-long stuff. As you know, I'm a YouTuber, so I have a lot of camera equipment in there, as well as drones and things like that. And I also have my clothes and a few necessities like rain suit and a few tools. Anyway, that is the one cosmetic thing I did this year to this bike. So I want you to know that I have a complete build video on this bike right here that I built for my nephew. It takes you from the beginning, complete teardown, to complete build up. Now it's been delayed because my nephew ordered a custom made seat, and it's my nephew who's dragging his feet. Hopefully that video should be out soon. Okay, so the very next ride was to the Outer Banks of North Carolina. If you've never been, you have to check it out. There's plenty of videos on YouTube. So, it's a place like no other. It actually reminds me of the Florida Keys a little bit. Why? Well, you're on a thin strip of land out in the middle of the ocean with water on both sides as you travel south or north. Now, this is a ride that my friend Bill does every year with his Indian group, and they ask us to join them. Cool bunch of guys. It's pretty much a full day's ride. We usually do it on a Saturday. You leave Saturday morning and you get back that evening about 6 p.m. Pretty wore out from the ride, but very enjoyable and a fun day with the guys. Now, I will say on this day it was a little blustery. It's early spring, so it was cool. You needed a light jacket, some gloves, and that was pretty much it. Now, I have a face mask on, you could probably tell, but that's for all the sand that was being kicked up. And if you've never been blasted with sand in your face, that's a whole experience, kind of like riding in the rain, but a little bit more intense. Yeah. Now, for those of you that don't know, this bike that you're looking at right here, this is my Electric Glide. My cousin was visiting, so since he was in town, I loaned him my bike, and yeah, he hung out with us. As for the Vicla on this trip, no problems, no issues. She rode just perfectly fine. So my very next trip was a memorial ride that is done each year here in the city that I live, Virginia Beach, for some fallen soldiers, Extortion 17. And if you look through my library, it's a few videos back. So it's probably a month and a half back. Anyhow, that was a great ride. Took the Vicla out. People love this bike wherever I go. It drew a lot of attention. And again, it performed flawlessly. So that was another great ride. So those are the rides that I've done this year. Other than short rides, for example, I like riding to church. So I go to church, I may ride to a meeting, I go to different meetings and things like that. But that is just a few miles, and I'm talking about not even 50 miles, 30 miles maybe, okay? So here and there. So anyhow, what I haven't mentioned is that I had some engine work done to this bike. Now, for those of you that know what the issue is with 1999 to 2006 on a twin cam, and that is that the spring tensioner on the cam chain is a fail item. If you have a Harley Davidson twin cam from 1999 to 2006, you most likely are aware of this problem. So the cure is to change it to a cam plate with a hydraulic tensioner. Takes away the spring, so it is not as forceful on that slider, and it's gonna last a whole lot more. So that's what I wanted to do, but I had my nephew's bike on the bench. I was still working on that to get that done, and I needed every minute before I went to Florida to finish that bike up. As a matter of fact, when I took my nephew's bike to Florida, I had not started it. There was still a few things that I needed to do that I completed in Florida. When I took that bike to Florida, I worked on it an extra 2 days to get it done. And I got it done. As you saw, I got it riding, running, and the rest is history. But back to my bike, I didn't have the time. So I had a local shop, put a cam plate, put the tensioners, and while they were there, put a oil pump along with some cams. So what we added was, we added a fueling cam plate with the fueling oil pump, hydraulic cam chain tensioners, and a 525 cams. And that was it. Now, when I had that work done, I specifically asked the mechanic, I said, what is the run out on the engine? And he told me, he says it's less than 1. I thought that was amazing. My Electroglide that I showed you just a minute ago that my cousin was riding, I put a cam plate in that thing and it was 7 thousandths. Harley Davidsons are known to be between, I want to say 2 and 4. And this gentleman told me it was less than 1, which I found to be amazing. I was like, wow, that's great.
I don't know, but something up.
You can sound?
Yeah.
Terrible.
I got oil.
From the engine?
Yeah. I guess I can limp home real slow. I mean, I just felt it right there.
Is it when you change gear or?
No. So when I slowed down, I downshifted, and then you know how you feel it?
Yeah.
It's vibration, right? So I'm like, I thought it was maybe the wind.
Okay.
So then when it got, that's why I went like that. So it went away. And then when it got quiet, I revved it and I heard it again. So I'm gonna limp home.
All right. Follow you.
What am I gonna do? It sounds, it could be a cam, a bearing, it could be anything really.
All right.
I don't think it's the lifters. It could be lifter, I don't know.
See how it sounds when you started it up.
Yeah, come here, stand here. It could, can it, I don't think it's the
All right.
yeah. Yeah, that's what it sounds like, the primary.
That oil on it?
Yeah. So it's not the engine.
Go slow. Follow you. Has the lights on.
All right. I guess, trying to think. I'll just limp home, go slow. It seems as though my primary chain adjuster has either come off or something's going on the primary side. That's what I'm hoping. Once I applied power to the bike, for those of you that understand what's happening, so the chain kind of tensions up a little bit, the noise that it was making would go away. It's when I was not on power or just the bike idling, so I was shutting it off at stops. But under power, and not a lot of power, I kind of limped home. I came home very nice and easy, but under power the noise would go away. So I'm suspecting that the chain is rubbing on the primary cover, which that's aluminum. It makes a horrible noise.
Well, update, that is not the problem. The primary chain tensioner is not the problem. I opened it up and the tensioner was fine. Everything is in position. Now, I did some research and it says that when the bike is either in idle or when you decelerate, in other words, you're going 50 miles per hour, you let go of the gas, and all of a sudden the noise comes on. And that is exactly what's happening to the bike. It says if it happens when those two things occur, or when you do those two things, decelerate and idle, then it is your lower bearing. Now, I've done some research. What would cause the lower bearing to fail? And here is what Google AI came out with. So, the most likely cause of your lower crank bearing failure after installing a fueling cam plate and oil pump is, drum roll please, excessive crankshaft runout. This was the known issue with the 2005 twin cam engine, and a high volume oil pump can worsen the problem by putting more stress on the crankshaft. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I was referring to earlier. Because on the Electric Glide, I did a cam plate and oil pump upgrade, and run out was 7,000s. And I had a little bit of a noise. It's a long story, but I called S&S, which is the cam plate that I used, an oil pump, and they told me negative, do not use our oil pump or cam plate if you have more than 3,000 run out. That's why it was very important that when I asked this guy what the run out was. So that is where I'm at. I believe 100% that it is the crankshaft bearing. So now what needs to happen is I need to have the bike disassembled, the crankshaft, I need to send it to Dark Horse to get it centered, balanced, true, the whole nine, and they weld it. As a matter of fact, my Electric Glide has a Dark Horse crankshaft. Those things are bulletproof. And that is pretty much it. Now, I say that's pretty much it, but that's a big job. That's not something that I am going to do, because that is disassembling the entire engine, which is something that I could do, and assembling it back, and that is something that I could do. But all the little secrets and tricks and little things that are very important in putting together that engine that I don't know, because that's not what I do for a living, is something that I may miss, and I may have an engine that lasts 10,000 miles, or I can have an engine that lasts 100,000 miles because I sent it to the right guy. So that's what I'm gonna do. Anyway, so I am very bummed out. I know that a lot of you guys follow me because of this bike, but like I said, I have a video coming up of my nephew's Vicla that I built. There's actually a few videos on that, and it's gonna come out real quick. So yeah, it should be any time now. But anyhow, so what I'm gonna do is I have to call Brooke Cycles and have him fit me in. And usually the way it's worked with him is I will call him, and then he puts me on the list, and he'll call me a couple months later and tells me bring the bike in, and then he can have the bike for 3-4 months. I mean, but the guy is top notch. I wouldn't take it to anybody else. The guy is a drag racer, does some very big names engine work wise. The guy has a lot of experience, and besides that, he and his wife who run the business, they're just an honest team, good people, God-fearing, honest people, and I feel really comfortable dealing with them. So that's who I'm taking the bike to. I do feel like I've been taken advantage of, and I've been thinking about that whole situation. And you know, there's guys that can put parts on, like I said, and this is what I'm trying to explain, is that I can do this job, but it will not last if I take it to somebody that's what they do all the time. So what the job that this guy did, I could have done that. I mean, it is not rocket science. And as a matter of fact, I could have did it better, because I knew that if the run out was high, and that's what I can't prove it, but I asked Google AI, and that's exactly what it told me. The first thing it told me is that is the most likely scenario, and I already knew that because I went through it with my other bike, and that was a learning experience for me. So anyway, I know I'm kind of on a yeah, I feel bamboozled, because I asked the guy, what's the run out? Oh, it's less than 1. So anyhow, that's the kind of channel I have here. This is Bronx Brothers Motorcycles. My name is Richie, and I have a variety of bikes. So this is just my experience with my 05 Softail Deluxe called La Vicla. And don't forget to check in the description so that you can get a full rundown on this bike, every nut and bolt that I put on this bike. And anyway, if you haven't subscribed, do so. This is the kind of channel I have. I keep it real here. I do a variety of types of videos. I do everything. I just went on a ride to the Blue Ridge Mountains and had a great 2 days up there by myself. I love it out there. It is motorcycle heaven. Those videos are going to be coming up. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. If you haven't given this video a like, please do so. And with that, I'm going to sign off. You all take care. Watch out with the crazy people on the roads. And I will catch you on the next one. Adios. I go back.